Superman just got its suit revealed. Well, there was a first look, but this is obviously like the most we've seen from it. And on top of that, we got pictures of like Mr. Terrific, how David Cornsweet's gonna look as Clark Kent. I mean, there's a ton of stuff here, but I'm gonna go ahead and hand it off to you first. What are your thoughts on not only the suit? You can go in depth on Superman, Mr. Terrific, and then David Cornsweet as Clark Kent.
My thoughts on the suit. It could be a lot better. I don't know why something is just not working with this suit. And I think it's pretty divisive for the most part too. I remember the Man of Steel suit being pretty divisive at first, but like this, I feel like is a little bit different. There's just a bunch of elements of the suit that I'm just not messing with, like the weird lines on the suit. I feel like they don't work, and the thick ass fabric that they chose. I feel like the lines kind of make it. I feel like that fabric makes those lines like look a bit worse. I feel like if the suit was more sleek and skin tight looking with those lines, it would blend a little bit better. But all of that looks off. In the crest, I thought it would be a little bit bigger, because when James Gunn first shared that crest logo, it looked so big and like pronounced, and I thought that it would be a lot bigger. I wish that it was a lot bigger, but I don't mind the crest. Like, I think the symbol looks pretty good. The colors on it are fine. The collar works surprisingly well. I actually think that that's such a good way to do the collar, because the way that the collar comes down, you're still able to see that neckline, but then when it comes up in the back, it's a nice like color breakup between the cape and then the collar. So I like that. But I mean, other than that and the cape, I can't say that a lot that I like about the suit. I mean, the trunks work surprisingly well. I didn't think that they would work well, but they work at a certain degree. I don't like the belt. The boots are whatever, like they're not bad or whatever. And the cape, I like the symbol on the back of the cape. I wish it was kind of like the way that my brother did it. He did an edit of like what it would look like on the cape. I wish that it looked something more like that, more than just it looks so
I'll put it on screen
yellow.
Right,
it looks so yellow and so like a cheese pizza. Like it looks like a tortilla chip. Like it's just yellow. And I mean, it still looks cool. Like I like the way it looks on the cape.
We got a pic of him today, like holding something, and it really like it.
Yeah, I do.
It really
like
helps. The way it looks when the cape's flapping, it holds it down like in a certain way. That's really cool.
Yeah. The cape is one of the best parts about the suit. And I think my biggest
Mr. Terrific.
Okay, before I get to Mr. Terrific, I think my biggest gripe with this suit is the fact that it doesn't do a good job at like showing Superman's physique. And I just feel like the iconography of Superman, like what people think of when they think of Superman, is this just shredded, like peak form looking guy.
That's not my like. I get what you're saying, but like as like animated series, classic comics, like come on, like that's not what Superman's always looked like. Especially us growing up. Come on, bro, you're not fooling
I gotta
nobody.
disagree heavy. I feel like whenever anybody thinks of Superman, they think of somebody that literally looks like he's in the peak form, like muscular, like really just perfect specimen with
for sure. There's
a bunch of superpowers.
Some iterations,
and I feel like stripping that away from his design is kind of leaving the whole design, the design as a whole, kind of feeling like a bit more unfamiliar. Because I feel like if it just had that element where it at least looked maybe skin tight, or just looked like he was yoked, like you could see it, I just feel like that would have done a lot better for the suit. But yeah, my thoughts on the suit. I mean, it could be a lot better. As far as Mr. Terrific goes, he looks like he's ripped straight from the comics, whether that be a good thing or a bad thing, because I could see some audiences being like, he looks cheap as hell with this like leather jacket and stuff, because they don't know who Mr. Terrific is.
You can see some audiences doing that.
I could see some, I could see some people being like, it's just a superhero in this leather looking jacket. There's been similar stuff in the CW. Like, I mean, I could just see audiences doing that if they don't know who Mr. Terrific is. Now, for those who do, like, obviously they wouldn't mind at all because it looks like he was ripped straight out the comics. I think they could have. I don't know who's in the hair department, but like they hating on God, they hating like because they couldn't get my man a little lineup. Like he just rocking the big sideburns and like then they couldn't like fade it a little bit, get him crispy, like give him a little lineup. I would have liked that better. The pants fit nicely. I wonder what it's gonna look like when he has the jacket off. Because honestly, it could look a lot better once he has the jacket off. I like the little designs on the jacket
shape,
though.
Like insane shape.
Overall, like I'm not mad at Mr. Terrific's design. I could just see some people having a problem with the way that it might translate into live action. I mean, as far as there's some photos with him and Superman, and I mean, you know, it is what it is. They look okay for the most part. You're never gonna get to see what it just truly looks like until you watch the movie. Like it's just hard to really dissect and try to really hone in on what this is gonna be like when you just have no clue. But as far as Clark Kent goes, whoever decided to give Clark Kent the fuckboy cut is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I could imagine some studio exec being like, "This is what the TikTok kids have right now. Like, come on, like can we implement that into Clark Kent?" I could just imagine it, honestly. But I mean, it looks a little bit goofy right now, honestly, in these set photos. Obviously, it might not look like that in post. Like they'll touch it up a lot and stuff. But it doesn't look too bad. It's just very different. It's kind of a departure from what Clark regularly looks like.
Whiplash kind of effect.
But I mean, overall, like you gave him the glasses, the big suit. I mean, he looks like Clark Kent just with some curly hair in the front of his forehead. So I mean, I can't be too mad.
Yeah, I'd say I'm kind of on the boat with you, a bit more positive. Obviously, I think the best part of the suit, and I want to talk about that first reveal first because even I was very vocal about the fact that the actual reveal wasn't good. Now, for all we know, a year later, when we actually sit down and watch this movie, maybe that's some type of clone or something, and he fooled us this whole time. That would be the best case scenario. Yeah. But I just thought the reveal, the idea, everything behind it just wasn't great. You give him this burnt suit, so not only are they not like the actual colors that we're gonna see when we first see him, most likely, but on top of that, you're putting him in this position where he's like covering a lot of his suit in shadow. It's indoors. Yeah. He looks like sad in the background. Looks like a quick like mock-up of some sort of energy blast. Just everything about it was so odd. Everything. And then obviously now seeing these photos, I mean, it is really colorful, and I think that particularly made up for a lot of the faults. I'll just show these three main shots. One of them is from Greater Cleveland Partnership. We got Michael Collier on it and Eric Dross. They all gave the like go ahead to show these photos, but the colors are like popping, and obviously I'd imagine in post it'll be more like rich, more there will be more depth, obviously, since the movie's not going to be taken with a phone telescope lens. Obviously it's going to have a lot more detail, so you're going to see the texture a lot more, and the colors are going to be, there's going to be more of a punch there. It's not going to be this kind of hazy bright, because that's how a lot of these photos have kind of looked, and I think it's because like it's out in the daylight and people are genuinely just taking raw photos and uploading them, like no processing or anything. And my hope is, yes, that they clean it up in post. Now, I don't know if that's the plan, because obviously sometimes you go into it like that. Sometimes it's kind of a middle of the thing fix. Like an example recently is like the Flash and Falcon the Winter Soldier, right? Falcon the Winter Soldier, they kind of, his like mask kind of wrinkled up a bit, and so they just cleaned it to where it like stays put on his neck. And then they did that. I think they thought about that afterwards. when they saw how much it was bunching up, and they cleaned it up, and it looked great. And then with the Flash situation, you got this suit that they made. It has a collar and everything. Even when you look at the very first trailer that they showed, he has a collar in that trailer. Like, he has a collar and everything. But then in post, they like just got rid of it and tightened it up. And it kind of, you know, was a challenge, because I'd imagine that was a decision that was made like further down the line that they were not prepared for and kind of had to rush out, because it really had that effect. While I hope, because obviously James Gunn is a much more prepared director, especially at this point in his career, I'd hope that if they do plan on cleaning it up a bit in post, that is the idea going into this. So you're prepared. So whenever you're sending shots in towards the artist, they're already starting to work on it, instead of it being some type of last minute thing. I like the collar. I think I was someone who was really against the collar. But it's not like high. Like, it's not a high up collar. So it doesn't look that like military-esque.
No,
that I was
the way
afraid
that it comes
would look.
down, the way that it comes down to reveal more than
Adam's
that,
below his
like,
Adam's apple and
it
stuff.
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes
the first reveal just had it, so it was kind of like,
yeah, and in that first reveal, it looked more like a traditional like military collar, like it just came up like a regular circle, like no V taper at the bottom or nothing like that. And I think from the front, it's appealing with it coming below his Adam's apple, but then from the back, it like peaks above the cape, so there's like a color separation there that's oddly like works, and it's satisfying. And I like it. Not a fan of the material, but hopefully it grows on me.
I just feel like the material. I just feel like they really messed up with the material.
Yeah,
I feel like if anything, like, don't use that, because there's even set photos of him walking and stuff, and it seems like it's like it can't stretch much.
I know we can't show all like the photos, but I'm
like
sure
there's
like,
some photos where it just seems like
you guys
only
have
stretch his
seen
legs
it
so far up until like it'll rip like a pair of jeans.
Oh, I think the suit looks pretty mobile for the most part. Like, we got set photos today where he's like bending all the way down, about to fly up. He's jumping up and everything. Like, he's doing a lot in that suit. Like, but yeah, the material, it kind of has a scrunch to it that I'm not like really that fond of. And
thick. It's like
thick
bunches. Like,
the material is like a leather rubber. It's like a mix, and it's
weird.
This hard, rough texture. I just hope if that is how it's gonna look in the final product, like if they do allow the wrinkling, I'm okay with it, but I'd much prefer it being a bit tight. I don't need it to look like spandex, because it can't. That material is just, it can't look like spandex. Similar like, you know, Cavill's, how it kind of looks like spandex, even though it's not. But like this suit, clearly it can't really do that with the thickness of the material.
I feel like they should have took a similar approach as Michael Wilkerson.
Okay.
I just feel like that the approach he took like makes it's like great. It's good.
Like, I don't mind the actual
like
material. I just think it makes it bunch, and I think you could do something to where it is more skin tight, and that's my whole thing. Is like, not that I want it skin tight, but I wish it was more fitting.
Like, I feel like that's the only choice you go with, though. You know what I mean? It could
be just and it's most likely just a case of the fact that they made it a bit loose so the actor has more mobility, and then they'll clean it in post. That's a constant thing. Like, more superhero suits actually do that than you might think. Like, genuine. Like, the whole Shazam family, like, all of their suits are touched up with CG. Like, it's a matter of, I hope, you know, they're prepared for that. I don't want it to be some last minute thing and have this movie end up looking like The Flash or something. But yeah, I love the crest on the back. I think it adds a flair that particularly when the cape is flapping, it kind of does this thing where it sends like two parts of the cape in a different way because of it. And I just love the way it looks. I do wish it looked a bit like my makeup, but you know, that might be personal bias. And yeah, as for everything else, I like it. I love the trunks. I think the suit works way better with the trunks than it does without them. If you try to convince me this suit looks better without the trunks, you're goofy. I'm sorry. This looks better with that.
I mean, we don't know what it looks like without the trunks. So.
And yeah, as for David Cornsweet as Superman, I think the hair looks nice. Everything about it looks nice. And then as for his Clark Kent, which is a bit more intriguing to me, he's got this. People are calling it the broccoli cut, which is not what it is. A broccoli cut goes all the way around. Like, it's curly all the way around. Kind of like what I have a little bit when I do my hair. Obviously, mine's a bit more loose. But this is kind of that. It is more Gen Z like. And I don't know. It is different. And I think that is kind of what why it hit us so hard. Because we've always seen Clark in two ways, right? Cavill's was kind of the opposite version where his Superman had slick hair and his Clark had like curly hair, had like more looser hair, right? But someone like Reeve, obviously his Clark had slick hair while his Superman had the curl and stuff like that. And it's like flip-flop throughout multiple iterations, right? And with this one, it's neither of that. It's like genuine, like an entirely different hairstyle that makes him look
like so
you would never expect him to be Superman. I love the big suit. It's so loose on him and gives him like a humble look. It's so large on him, and there's like a set video out there with him like kind of bumping into people, and I'm like, that's exactly how a 6'5", 200-pound person would look walking through a crowded sidewalk. Like, that's exactly how. I don't know what people expect them to do, especially if he's like late to work or something. Does he think people will just part the Red Sea? Like no, like he's 6'5", 200. He's huge. He's a big dude. And, you know, this isn't your local, you know, Smallville sidewalk where there's 3 people walking on it. No, this is a busy place. Metropolis is a busy place, and there's going to be tons of people, you know, walking along the street. It's going to be really interesting to see what he does. And the whole clone theory, we might discuss in another video or something. There's a potential that David Cornsweet is playing like 3 characters in this movie. And as someone who obviously he's went to like an acting school, but he hasn't really gotten like the big break in Hollywood yet, that's asking a lot out the gates from this movie, from this man. And I hope he delivers. I mean, you see him in interviews and he's just got it, man. The dimple's dimple. He's a geek. He's so American, but like just regular. I love it. And like, I just hope he brings a lot of that, and hopefully Gunn will bring a lot of that out. I like his Clark Kent. I like the suit. You know, do I have my problems with both? A little bit, but it could be also a situation where we got to get used to it, right? We saw Pattinson's reveal first, and I remember
me
the
personally,
discourse.
I'm still
not a fan of that suit.
I'm not a fan, but it's not bad. Like, I'm kind of just like,
I can see that, but yeah, when his suit was first revealed, you know, tons, not really backlash, but people saying he looks, what are those hockey pads? What is his cowl? Why is it showing his entire jawline? What are his gauntlets? They're so thick, they look like bow and arrow. But then you watch the movie and the lighting and the type of movie, the type of Batman he is, everything makes sense. It makes sense why he's so rough. The suit's not perfect.
It looks goofy now. It looks
stupid now, but you just have to wait.
But literally on set photos, like Batman's costume literally looks so stupid.
Yeah,
in the movie,
really
he has aura. Like, it's crazy.
So much. That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, you know, seeing the final product and the fact that it's different, it adds a lot of weight. You know, when we get something new, it's gonna alter our brain chemistry a little bit. You gotta get used to it a little bit. And sure, you might not like it even after the movie, but just know that's something to take into consideration, where maybe the suit has, like Cavill's, right? Like Cavill's suit, very divisive, but you find that the suit has meaning, right? It's Kryptonian, and you add things to the suit.
I just feel like that's something that just helps age it over time. So that's kind of why it goes from.
But that's what I'm saying. People end up liking the suit more because of that. You know how many people I've ran into where I've told them I prefer the Man of Steel suit, but they say they prefer the BVS suit simply because of the scripture in the S. Like, it's stuff like that. Like, that makes people actually like the suit. And who knows? Maybe in this movie, we understand that, you know, maybe it's Kryptonian, or Ma Kent adds some involvement in the suit, or just stuff that adds to, you know, oh, that's why it's like that. That's why it's this way. That's why that's on there, and all that stuff. But overall, I'm positive about it. I'm really looking forward to the movie. I think Mr. Terrific looks terrific. I don't mind the haircut. I mean, could it be better? I guess. But, like, I mean, I'm not about to be like going crazy over a man's hair, as long as it's not something insane. Like, it looks fine. But as for the suit, it looks phenomenal. We're getting stuff where it looks like he's playing with Krypto. I'm just very excited. We're getting a Superman filming, a new universe starting, and hopefully, we're on the upswing here. Hopefully we're doing something good. Hopefully, you know, we can only pray. But yeah, that's our thoughts on Superman suit. But you guys go ahead and jump in the comments below and give your thoughts. We love hearing you guys talk and discussing with you guys. Is you know, we really like to. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say on this suit, about him as Clark, Mr. Terrifics, anything related to this. Even drop your favorite suit. What's your favorite Superman suit if it's not this or anything? Yeah, we love to discuss with you guys, so go ahead and jump down below and tell us your thoughts.